Always YouTube. I hope you guys are good. Welcome back to my channel. So gents, in this video we're gonna be going through best trades of the quarter. I hope you guys will enjoy the video as much as I enjoy doing these videos. This is the first time I do such a video in my YouTube, but then I really hope you guys will enjoy, and I will be dropping them each and every quarter. So yeah gents, without wasting any time gents, let's get to the video. So as you guys can see, I'm looking at gold. Gold is one of the setups that I took. The reason why I chose gold, it is because the management on this was amazing, was really good. So that's the reason why I chose gold. Let me just take price back where gold was, so that you guys can see. Price was somewhere around those areas here. I'm gonna take you guys through the thinking process and everything. So as you guys can see, price was pushing to the downside, series of higher highs and higher lows, as you guys can see that. And then this was the last low, right? As you guys can see that. So after price printed this last low, I started seeing something like this on gold. Started seeing this high being taken out. So this was a very nice change of character, as you guys can see that. Just gonna mark it out, change of character. Let me just do that 100%. So with that being said, one of the reasons why I took this trade, it is because I also started seeing this area here as a very nice liquidity area. Let me just mark it out as well. I saw this as a very nice liquidity area. Then price bounced there, as you guys can see. It bounced again, so eventually I knew that price was most probably going to take out the low, and then if it does that, then this is going to be a very nice setup, because we also have this imbalance here. As you guys can see that, you can see that after price building up this nice order block, it went up quite aggressively, leaving us this imbalance, and then we know that price will most probably come back to fill in the imbalance and mitigate the OP and start pushing to the upside. So with that in mind, I started seeing this as a very nice OP point of interest. I just wanted to see price pushing back to that area, and then that was the area that I was going to be looking to buy from, right? So let's just play price. So as you guys can see, this was mitigated, and then I started seeing this nice pattern building up. I think I saw something like this. As you guys can see, super clean pattern. But then, as you guys already know, that price does not really have to give you those clean patterns. But then this was one of those clean patterns. Let me just take that out of the way. So while price was here, I took a buy. Stop loss was just below the OB. As you guys already know, that we just like to give it a bit of room, so that if manipulation happens, we will be safe as well. So with that, I was targeting this high, but then we knew that price has a very high potential of pushing further to the upside, right? So that was my target, which was 8%. And then let's just play price. So as you guys can see, price engaged, pushed to the upside, and then immediately after price took out the trend line, I started moving to break even, and then I told the team to move to BE as well. So let's just play price. So as you guys can see, price is playing out. So as price was pushing to the upside, I started locking in over 1%. As you guys can see that I locked over 1%. So this was very nice trade because of the management, and then price came back, took us out. After price taking out, price took us out, I started seeing this as a very nice. Let me just remove everything so that we can see. This was the last high. As you guys can see, this was the last high. If you can focus, I will just show you just now. I saw this is a very nice change of character again. If you guys can check, this was a very nice downtrend, right? Because price was giving us series of lower lows and lower high. So we knew that price was in an uptrend if we focus in this piece of price action here. So with that being said, I saw this as a very nice change of character, and then price took us out. I was looking for those areas again that we can focus on. So with this one, I started seeing something like this as a liquidity area. I started seeing this area here as a very nice liquidity area, because I'll just explain now. Because as you guys can see, price bounced here, came back, it bounced here. So obviously when price does this, people will be looking to buy right from there. And then obviously us, we know that we need to wait till price pushes back to the areas of interest. Let me just take this out of the way. And then I started seeing this area here as a very nice area of interest. So the reason why this is a very nice area of interest, you can see that with these two candles, you can see that smart money was involved. So we know that this order block has a very high probability of playing out, right? So with that being said, let's just play price. So as you guys can see, price started pushing to the upside, and then we started looking for our nice patterns. Now, as you guys can see, I started seeing something like this. At first, I had this as my first touch, second touch, but then I evolved my pattern to something like that. Okay, let me just go back to what I was thinking, right? Let me just take out this liquidity area. So when price did this, I knew that price will most probably push back from where it is, come back from chill here, and then give us this nice pattern, right? So this is what I was looking at until price pushed a bit higher, and then I started seeing something different. Let me, okay, as you guys can see, this was too fast, I'm sorry about that. But then we can still explain. So as you guys can see, price went a bit higher with this spike here before pushing to the downside. So I started seeing price giving us something like this as a very nice pattern. And then the entry was here, pinpoint. I remember sending this out to the team, and then I think we reviewed this on YouTube as well. So this was really nice. Stop loss was super tight. Obviously our first target was somewhere around those areas there, and then it was on a Friday. I remember very well, it was on a Friday. Very nice trade. So as soon as price took out this trend line, we started moving to break even. I think I locked over 1%, something like that, and then just let price play. Let's just let price play. This was very nice, gents. I think I took my profit somewhere around those areas because it was on Friday. But then this was supposed to be very nice trade. I think I took 11% or even more. I think I took 11% out of this trade, but we could have took more out of this trade. But I remember some of my students managed to take over. I don't remember. They took a lot out of this trade. They took maybe 17 to 18%, which was really good. But then I just took 11% because it was on Friday. 11 to 12%, not really sure. But then this was one of the trades that we really benefited from. And then after price took out the high, I started seeing this as a very nice break of structure. Right, I just saw this as a very nice break of structure. And then I was looking to see if price is gonna use this area here as a nice liquidity area, this one here, and then come back for this OB down here, because as you guys can see, smart money was involved, everything is in line, and this was gonna be a very nice liquidity area. So but then unfortunately price did not pull back. But then should price pulled back to this area here, we could have capitalized all the way to the upside again, Jen. So this was one of the best trades of the quarter. I hope you guys managed to catch this one, because I think we discussed it on YouTube as well. The other pair that we have is USDCHF. USDCHF is one of the best as well. One of the best trades that we took this quarter. So I think it was somewhere around those areas here. Let me just, yeah, this is the trade. Actually, this is the trade. So I just want to go take you through what was the plan, when taking this trade. So let me just remove everything. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna remove till there, and then just take price back to here. So with this one, gents, it was really good, because price engaged quite aggressively. We did not waste time in this one. So as you guys can see, price was moving to the upside, breaking structures to the upside, right? So as you guys can see, this was the high, right? And then it gave us a nice low and started pushing to the upside again, gave us the last high, right? After giving us the last high, we changed character. So I was very interested when price started changing character. And then I saw this area here is a very clean liquidity area. As you guys can see, that we want to see liquidity building up. We know that price eventually will take it out, and then we're gonna use that to enter the market. Let me just do that. I started seeing this nice liquidity area. As you guys can see, it was building up very nice. I identified this order block, which was somewhere around here, but then as you guys can see, this OB was too big, so we refined it to this 50% of the OB, and then we were looking at this area. All eyes was on this area. Liquidity was identified, smart money was involved here. As you guys can see, price completely took off, building this imbalance here, so we knew that price will most probably come back, mitigate the OB, and start pushing to the downside. So with that in mind, we were looking at this very close. So as you guys can see, let me just explain the entry. I think we got a nice pattern from H1. Let me just push back to H1. So this one, I think we got a very nice pattern from H1. Let me just do this. I think some of you guys remember this trade. It was also discussed on YouTube as well. Started seeing something like this, right? A very nice pattern. So as you guys can see, that this is an expanding type of pattern, and then price went back to this. Then our stop loss was just a little bit above the OB, just to give it a bit of room, you know. So this was the entry, and then price did not waste time. After that, price did not waste time, completely took off. As you guys can see, that we started having engagement after price took out this 10 line. We started locking in some profit. I think 1%, or I think we were on still on break even, and then price started pushing. Obviously, I was looking to see if prices was gonna take out this low, and then we were gonna be looking for more scale in, right? Should price take out this low, it will be a very nice, because this is change of character. We waited for that break of structure, then we were looking for those nice OBs again to re-enter this trade, to scale into this trade, right? So as you guys can see, price started taking out, it took off, like completely took off. But then I was looking at price taking out the low, and then maybe pushing a bit to the downside, using this area as a new OB. Should price push back very corrective to this OB, we're gonna be looking to take this to the downside some more. I remember when price engaged, gave us this long candles, we started moving our stops to 9%, which was really good. Price completely took off. The reason why we were targeting this area, I was targeting this area, let me just explain that as well. This was one of the best with the management and everything. So the reason why we targeted this area, gents, is because we had this imbalance here, and then remember, we broke structure there, right? We broke structure there, we had this imbalance here, and then I knew that price will most probably push back for this OB, right? So that was the reason why we were looking to take most of our profits from here. So as you guys can see, this was one of the best. This was the best trade of the year. I should have done this the last. But then we also have GBPCHF, which was one of the best as well, with the risk to reward. Imagine taking away 26%, almost, this is 27% out of the market, as you guys can see that from the chart. This was amazing, Jen. So this was one of the best. I really hope you guys managed to take this one as well, because I think it was discussed on my YouTube. Feel free to go back and see that on my previous videos, Jen. So this was the best as well. So this is USDCHF, and then we also had a very nice trade on AJ was this was recent, gents. This was recent. Currently involved in a trade on AJ and AU. This is the last trades of the year. Currently involved in very small profits. As you guys can see, the market are not really moving quite aggressively. But then, yeah, I just want to take you through the trade that we took here on AJ. Let me just quickly take price back. Just want to take price back till somewhere around those areas there. So I just want to take you guys through what was happening in my head, and then why we took this trade. So this was one of the best trades of the quarter, because as you guys can see, price action here was very messy, but then we managed to take this trade, and then we managed to capitalize on this one. Just this was one of the best. So let me just take you through the thinking process and everything. I'm just gonna start off from daily time frame, just to explain what's happening. So as you guys can see, price was moving to the upside, change character here. I don't know where is that change. No, this is not change of character, just this is break of structure. I'm sorry about that. Okay, price broke structure. Obviously price was moving to the upside, right? We broke structure again. Price started pushing to the upside, came for this order block. Obviously we're expecting price to keep pushing to the upside, right, at this moment, because as you guys can see, price broke structure, came for this order block, reacted off the order block, started pushing to the upside. Obviously if we focus in this piece of price action here, especially from H4, we will see that this was in a very clean downtrend, series of lower lows and lower highs, as you guys can see that. And then as price pushed back, this was our last high, as you guys can see that. And then price mitigated the OB. We waited for price to change character, which is up here. Price change character, coming back very corrective, as you guys can see that. We wanted to see price pushing back for this OB before pushing completely to the upside, right? So that was the thinking process on this one. And then we started pushing, going down to H4, started going down to H4 to see if we can capitalize on a trade to the downside, right? Okay, let me just do this. So as you guys can see, if you can focus in this piece of price action here, you will see that price is moving to the downside. This piece of price action, right? You will see that price is pushing to the downside, breaking lows, as you guys can see that. So with that in mind, we saw this as a very nice break of structure. I think we can use this one as well, doesn't matter. But then we saw this as a very nice break of structure. And then the other thing that motivated us to take this trade was the imbalance that was created. We knew that price will most probably push back to close in the imbalance. So obviously, as you guys can see, smart man was involved. And then at first we had this as our OB. We had this as our OB, right? At first we had this as our OB, and then price started, let's just play price to see what happened. Just play price to see what happened. So with this one, we entered twice. I entered here, I remember very well. Price started pushing to the upside, took me out, and then immediately after that, we entered off this OB. I remember very well. With this one, the reason why I decided to do this one, it is because I learned a very valuable lesson out of this one. I learned that if I was to take this one, my stop loss should have been above this OB, just to accommodate this, because there was this imbalance here. As you guys can see, there was this imbalance here. This gap had to be filled, you know. So I should have waited to see if price was gonna come back here. But then the reason why I took this trade here is because sometimes price does not close those gaps, right? So I saw this as a very nice imbalance that price should have closed and started pushing to the downside. But then I learned a valuable lesson that at least my stop loss, my entry should have been here, my stop loss should have been above this OB, because price had a chance of coming back to close this gap. So as you guys can see, price took me out immediately after that, and then I re-entered here. I re-entered, the stop loss was just above the OB, and then obviously my first target was the low, 90% of this pattern. And then I had an order block. To the upside, somewhere around there. The order block was, let me just do this. The order block was somewhere around those areas, if I'm not mistaken. But then yeah, that was the area that we targeted. Our first target was there. We took some profits when price got there. So as you guys can see, price completely took off after that. And then after price took out the low, we started closing in something like 1%, if not more. Closing in some 1%, if not more. I think it was 2%, if not more. And then price started pushing to the downside, as you guys can see. and then we were exactly at our first target area, which is 12%. I took some profits, and then we started looking some more, we started looking some more. I took some profit because I entered with multiple trades, so I took some profits there, and then we logged some more, and then price started pushing to the downside some more, and then I think I was out somewhere around those areas. I think I took maximum profit somewhere around those areas because I remember it was like something like 15 to 16%, and then the OP was there. So this was one of the best, gents. This was one of the best. So obviously, as you guys can see, currently we're still looking for this to push a little bit more to the downside to give us a very nice pattern so that we can start looking for those buying opportunities. But then yeah, gents, this is the end of the year. I'm not really looking to trade a lot because obviously most of the traders are on leave. The big banks are not really trading that much, so that's why you see the market not moving and all that. So that's the reason why. So this was AUDJPY, gents, one of the best. I hope you guys took advantage of this one. I remember it was discussed on my YouTube video not too long ago, so I really hope you guys took I really hope you guys took advantage of this one. And then the other one, gents, that I have is Euro. I think it's USDCHF. Let's go to USDCHF quickly, and then just to discuss what was happening. So with this one, I think it was a sell. Let me just go to H4 to see the exact area. So with this one, I think it was a buy. Yeah, it was a buy. It was a buy. It was too long ago. It was too long ago. It's too long ago. Okay, gents, I think we should leave this one because I don't remember where the entry was and everything. I'm not sure if it was here because I see a very nice break of structure and then this nice pattern. I'm not sure if it was here or where, but then let's just leave that out. The other pair that we have is NASDAQ. We took NASDAQ. This was nice. NASDAQ was really nice, and then it was discussed on my YouTube as well. NASDAQ was really nice. I hope you guys managed to take advantage of NASDAQ. As you guys already know that NASDAQ will give you those nice setups. So okay, let's just go through NASDAQ. I think it was somewhere around those areas when we took the trade. So we had something like this. Let me just take everything out. Just take everything out. So with the sell, I think the sell was here. We had two selling opportunities on this one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just go to H1 to see. Okay, so in this one we had two entries. I remember very well. So let me just take you guys through that. The first entry was here. This was not too long ago. I remember the first entry was here. So let me just take you guys through what was the thinking process on this one. So as you guys can see, NASDAQ was in a very clean uptrend. If you can go to H4 just to explain what's been happening. Obviously, NASDAQ was in a very clean uptrend. We broke structure here. And then after that, I knew that NASDAQ has to come back for this area here. Or maybe we had an order block in H1 here, so we knew that NASDAQ had to come either here or here, right? So with that being said, we went to H1 and we started looking for those entries to the downside because we knew that NASDAQ had to go to the downside, right? So as you guys can see, price was pushing to the upside. If you can focus in this piece of price action here, very corrective, breaking highs, but then we knew that NASDAQ was in an uptrend because it was breaking highs, right? So now, with that being said, we started seeing NASDAQ taking out the last low, which is this one here. So this gave us a very nice change of character, right? So with that being said, we started seeing this area here as a very nice liquidity area, as you guys can see that. very nice liquidity area here, and then we wanted to see that being taken out, right? So this was a very nice liquidity area. I don't remember if I entered using 15 minutes time frame OB. Let me just go back there. I think we used H1 time frame OB. Let me just go back. So as you guys can see, this is the area that I was looking at to see if price was gonna react on this one. Should I get the screenshot? I'll try to put them somewhere in the screen so that you guys can see that we definitely took this trade. But then other than that, you guys can go back to our previous videos and you will see that we managed to get into this trade. So I used the 15 minutes time frame OB. I remember very well now. Let me just take this back till here. This was the best because it gave us good profit. I used 15 minutes OB or OB because we also had a pattern. I remember very well. We also had a very nice pattern. So this was the order block that I used. And then this was also sent out to the team. I'm not sure on YouTube. I don't think I really sent on YouTube, right? But then this was sent out to the team. So this was one of the best trades, man, that we had. As you guys can see, first touch, second touch, third touch, which was really good to see. And then I had this as my second area of interest. If this area was to fail, I was looking to sell from there. Remember very well. So as you guys can see, this was the case. And then we started selling from definitely from here, and then we were looking for those downside gents. This was one of the best trades, gents, one of the best, because we so the stop loss was there, and then I was looking for the 90. I was looking for the 90. So we definitely got 9% out of this trade. And then let me just play price. So as you guys can see, price did not take long, and it definitely pushed to the downside. Did not take long, and then we started seeing those engagement to the downside. And then obviously after price took out this trend line, moved to break even almost immediately, and then price started pushing to the downside quite aggressively. And then as you guys can see, we had that pullback, and then yeah, I remember I thought of taking profits there, but then I said, you know what, let me just hold till the 90% because I know price has a very high potential of pushing till to the 90. But then as price started being very corrective, I said to myself, you know what, this price action is very corrective. Let me just lock profit somewhere around those areas there, which was something like 3%. The reason why I locked that is because we broke structure. We came back, we broke structure again here, so I decided to lock in there. I expected the market to push back maybe till here and start pushing again to the downside, giving us something like that. So that was the process. And then I was looking for this 90 here. Actually, when price went for this, we had a nice OB, as you guys can see. When price went for this OB, I started taking more profits, as you guys can see. Definitely, this is where I started taking some profits. Then I took, I think I entered with multiple trades, maybe 3 trades or 4, and then I took half, or I took everything and I left one, and then that one trade was somewhere around those areas there. So I didn't really mind. So as you guys can see, price started playing out exactly as we expected. So I don't really remember. I think I started taking everything when price was very corrective. I think I took out everything somewhere around those areas there. So which was 6% plus the ones that I took here, which is 8%. So this was one of the best trades of the year because this is NASDAQ as well. So we had to to practice proper risk management on this one. So this was the first trade. So we're just gonna go ahead to the second trade. Let me just go to H4. The second trade was a sell as well. The idea was the same. But we knew that price had to go to the downside. This was one of the best because I risked the risk management on that one was really nice as well. So that was one of the best. So when price started pushing to the upside, we knew that most probably price will push for an order block up there. I think I used the H1OB, and then I started seeing something like this as a nice pattern, right? I saw something like this as a nice continuation pattern. Let me just remove this so that you guys can see. So as you guys can see, right, I started using this as a nice pattern, first touch, second touch, anticipating the third touch, and then that's where we were going to be looking to push with price to the downside. So let me just go to H1. I don't remember very well which OB I used. I used the H1 OB or the H4 OB, but then I think I used the H1 OB. So let's see. I remember very well I used the pattern from H1 time frame. I mean from 5 minutes. I used the pattern from 5 minutes time frame. I think price, let me just take price back. As you guys can see, I think we had 1 2 3. Let me just take price back till here, right? So let's go to 5 minutes to see if this the pattern that I used was here or after that, because I think, oh, I remember with this one I entered twice. I remember I entered at first here, and then price went to the downside and then took me out on break even. I remember this one I used. I entered there first. I entered here and then I was taken out, right? And then price came back again. Yeah, I remember very well. And then I was taken out at break even. I took only one profit because I entered with multiple trades, so I took only one. Yeah, I took only 4%, and then the rest was break even. I remember this very well now. That okay, when price was somewhere around here, because we broke structure, and this was the OB that I was looking at. I remember I took some profits, just one, somewhere around those areas there, and then everything was on break even at this time, and then I was looking for price to push down till here. This was one of the best. So let me just play price. Yeah, I took one profit here, and then I knew that price had to go to the downside, so I pushed everything to break even and then took only one. So price started pushing back up and then took me up. So we started seeing price doing that, and then we knew that most probably price was going to be coming for this OB up here. I think we took this OB from H4. I'm not really sure. Let me just go back to H4. Or it's either we use this yeah, I remember we used the H4 OB. Then this was too big for us. I remember very well. This was big, so we decided to take 50% of the OB, which was here, as you guys can see that. So let me just go back to H1, and then I think we used 15 minutes time frame for our pattern. No, I think we used the 5 minutes time frame for our pattern. This was really good. We used 5 minutes for our pattern. Then let's just play price. So let's see, I think we used 5 minutes time frame for our pattern. Yeah, we had something like this. Then we knew that this was part of the OB. I remember, this was a tricky one, but then I'm happy that we managed to cash it, right? We managed to cash it with the team. So yeah, we had this nice reversal pattern, and we knew that we are still within that OB, because remember we took 50% of the order block, and then we knew that price will most probably start dropping from there, right? So we decided to enter somewhere around those areas there. We entered somewhere around those areas there, and then the stop loss was still nice because as you guys can see, this pattern and the stop loss was not too far as well. So this was very nice to see. And then obviously the stop loss had to be somewhere around those areas. Let me just go to 15 minutes so that this can play out really quickly. This was one of the best as well, with the management and everything. I remember it was on Friday, and then price started engaging that Friday. I think the market closed when we were somewhere around here. And then we let the market open and started pushing again to the downside. So this was one of the best. One of the best. Price played around that areas for a while. We were in a very small profits, out in. So this took me in a lot of emotions, to be honest. because I knew this is NASDAQ, gents. It's very volatile, but then the management was really good. So as you guys can see, price started engaging, as you guys can see that, and then price completely took off to the downside. This was really nice to see. Let me just so chance we started seeing price doing that, and then we knew that most probably price was going to be coming for this OB up here. I think we took this OB from H4. I'm not really sure. Let me just go back to H4. Or it's either we use this yeah, I remember we used the H4 OB. Then this was too big for us. I remember very well. This was big, so we decided to take 50% of the OB, which was here, as you guys can see that. So let me just go back to H1, and then I think we used 15 minutes time frame for our pattern. I think we used the 5 minutes time frame for our pattern. This was really good. We used 5 minutes for our pattern. Then let's just play price. So let's see, I think we used 5 minutes time frame for our pattern. Yeah, we had something like this. Then we knew that this was part of the OB. I remember, this was a tricky one, but then I'm happy that we managed to cash it, right? We managed to cash it with the team. So yeah, we had this nice reversal pattern, and then we knew that we are still within that OB, because remember we took 50% of the order block, and then we knew that price will most probably start dropping from there, right? So we decided to enter somewhere around those areas there. We entered somewhere around those areas there, and then the stop loss was still nice, because as you guys can see, this pattern and the stop loss was not too far as well. So this was very nice to see. And then obviously the stop loss had to be somewhere around those areas. Let me just go to 15 minutes so that this can play out really quickly. This was one of the best as well, with the management and everything. I remember it was on Friday, and then price started engaging that Friday. I think the market closed when we were somewhere around here. Then we let the market open and started pushing again to the downside. So this was one of the best day, one of the best. Price played around that areas for a while. We were in a very small profits, out in. So this took me in a lot of emotions, to be honest, because I knew this is NASDAQ, gents. It's very volatile, but then the management was really good. So as you guys can see, price started engaging, as you guys can see that, and then price completely took off to the downside. This was really nice to see. Let me just gents, I'm really sorry about that. My second screen just went off because of load shading, so I'm recording off my laptop. So as you guys can see, we were here, price started pushing, mitigated that OB, gave us this nice it was nice on 5 minutes, but even on 15 minutes you can see it's a very nice reversal pattern. So let's just play price to see what happened. So as you guys can see, we started engaging. It was on Friday. Started engaging. I think this was on Monday when price pushed aggressively. It was on Monday when price was somewhere around those areas. I started taking some partials. As you guys can see, I didn't want to be in this good profit and give it back to the market, so I took some profits. I entered with multiple trades, but then obviously overall target was down here. So let me just play price. So as you guys can see, price started pushing quite aggressively to the downside. At this time, I think we locked in some profit somewhere around those areas there, which was 1%. We were running over 5%. Very nice trade, as you guys can see. Let me just play price. This was one of the best. And then this was sent out on YouTube as well, I think. Or if not, I think I did a review on this one on YouTube. Then price started playing around those areas and went back to the upside and started pushing to the downside. I was still holding at this moment, and then this is where I started taking some more profit. I took some more profit somewhere around those areas, which was 7%. So at this moment I was enough with profits because of the strategy that I'm using. I'm like, I reached my target at this moment, and then I remember I took it out and withdrew. So this was really nice, gents. Price broke structure, so I saw a very nice order block somewhere around those areas that motivated me to take some more profits. And then I think at this moment I only left one trade running. I just wanted to take it down here. As you guys can see, we had this nice area. I just wanted to take the rest of the profits there. At this moment, I remember, I think I was somewhere around these areas here. So this was the only trade that was running at that moment. And then I was really, my emotions were detached because I took some nice profits as well. And then at this moment, this is exactly where I took everything out. So as you guys can see, at this moment when price was there, this is exactly where I took everything, which was 8%. Beautiful trade. So this was one of the best quarters that we had this year. Then I mean, this year was amazing for us, gents. This year was amazing for us. So yeah, gents, are currently involved in AUD, USD, and AJ as well. But then those are the only trades that I'm gonna be taking for the rest of the year. Currently in small profits on this one, currently in small profits. As you guys can see, the entry was there. Let me just go back to H4 just to give you guys the why we took this trade. I think this was also discussed on my previous YouTube video, Sunday market breakdown. This was given out to you guys as well. So obviously we just want to see price giving us a nice pattern, continuation pattern, tight flag, and then after price giving us that tight flag and push to the downside, we're gonna be definitely at break even. But then as you guys can see, price break structure gave us this nice OB, came back to that order block, giving us this nice pattern. So as you guys can see, this is a typical this is our typical entry, as you guys can see. So after price gave us this nice 1 2 3, we knew that this was a nice OB, and then we entered there. As you guys can see, we are currently in very small profits. We just want to see price engaging some more to the downside so that we can move to BE. So this is the trade that we currently in. So yeah, gents, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos every quarter. I'm going to be taking the best trades of the quarter, and then I'm going to be breaking them down to you guys, the management and everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing.